Hey guys, welcome to another DashFight video. Today we'll be taking a look at the absolute top players in the Street Fighter space. Listen, winning any tournament is hard, and since fighting games are usually a one-person sport, they're especially hard to win. Therefore, when an individual has honed their skills to the nth degree and can win multiple tournaments against others who put in the same amount of effort and passion into the game, they must be respected. This list will focus on the people who have dominated Street Fighter over its 35-year run and can be considered the legends of the game. However, this list will look specifically at the most successful players in competitive Street Fighter. Therefore, some big names who can be considered pillars of the community but who perhaps don't have the same tournament pedigree will not be added. Also, this list focuses on the mainline Street Fighter games, so success in games like Marvel vs. Capcom, Street Fighter X Tekken, and SNK vs. Capcom will not be considered. Without further ado, let's get on with the video. 10. Knuckle Doo Dang. If you have followed the competitive scene in Street Fighter, there is no way you do not know about this absolute legend. Knuckle Doo Dang started out in Street Fighter 4, and the story goes that he used to get beaten in fighting games by his uncle. So he trained a whole lot, mostly using online mode to lab the game until he felt good enough to beat his uncle, which he did pretty well. Soon he was in the competitive world of Street Fighter 4 and took some really big wins, especially in Combo Breaker where he won both the 2015 and 2016 Street Fighter 4 tournaments. His aggressive style came to typify his games, and when Street Fighter V came around, he showed no signs of slowing down, making history as the first American to win Capcom Cup and also the first to win it on Street Fighter V. He continued his dominance with a Canada Cup win in 2016 and another Combo Breaker in 2017. Knuckle Doo was also known for his mind games, which is reminiscent of another legend, Luffy, who's renowned for getting into his opponent's head. Tragedy struck in 2020 when Knuckle Doo was involved in a car accident that caused him to announce his retirement from competition. He was persuaded to return for Street Fighter League, but his participation in tournaments reduced drastically. But recently, he returned for SFL 2022 and has started to show signs of returning to his old, incredible self. We can't wait to see Knuckle Doo in Street Fighter 6. 9. Infiltration. Next up is Seon-Woo Infiltration Lee. Nowadays, Infiltration is not the most popular name within the FGC, but it would be impossible to make a list of the most successful players in competitive Street Fighter without him. Infiltration really started coming to the fore in Street Fighter 4, where he came in third at EVO 2010. He would return to win EVO 2 years later, and from that time on really dominated in the game. Infiltration is one of only a handful of players that has won EVO for Street Fighter more than once. He would win several other premier tournaments including CEO 2014 and EVO Japan 2018. Infiltration was absent for most of 2017 due to a domestic violence case in South Korea involving him and his ex-wife. He did return winning the CPT 2021 online event for Asia East and taking third place at First Attack. However, in 2022, he was again in some hot water which led to a permanent ban by Capcom on any of their events. While hardly a role model, Infiltration was indeed a talented player whose ability to adapt to situation was much respected. Many will never forget his match against PR Balrog and his switch to Hakan to take that game. At the end of the day, Infiltration has almost 20 tournament wins and loads of top 8 finishes. 8. Bonchan. The next player on the list is the undisputed king of Muay Thai, Masato Takahashi, also known as Bonchan. Bonchan is a veteran of the scene and a fierce competitor well known for his methodical play where he seeks to slowly corner his opponent before unleashing devastating attacks to end their life bars. He came into prominence in Street Fighter 4, especially when he came second at EVO 2014, losing to Luffy. He came back swinging the next year, winning Red Bull Kumite, SoCal Regionals, and the Ultra Hayakishu Cup 2015. Then Street Fighter V came and Bonchan initially struggled. With Sagat not featuring in the game till around 2018, Bonchan picked Ryu but was unable to find any real success with the character. He made the switch to Nash and slowly but surely came back to his old self. He won a couple of tournaments in 2017 but was not at his best in this period. Sagat had been released in August 2018 and by the time 2019 rolled around, Not only that, but in 2019, Bonchan became a father, and using the power of love and fatherhood, he steamrolled everyone, winning CEO, Celtic Throwdown, Versus Fighting, and most importantly, EVO. It seemed that Bonchan only grew stronger the older he got, and nowadays he still competes, although it seems he has moved to pick Luke as a main. 7. Fujimoto. There are few players who have dominated Street Fighter V as much as Fujimoto. Formerly known as Yukadon, Atsushi Fujimoto enjoyed a brief stint in Street Fighter IV before V came out. Once the initial settling period had passed, Fujimoto opted to use Nash, which came with some very favorable results. Between 2017 and 2019, Fujimoto was perhaps the most talked about Japanese player as he won tournament after tournament. Excitement followed his feats as he was a young face who looked poised to take over from the previous generation of legendary Japanese players. Fujimoto staked his claim by winning DreamHack in 2017 and CEO in 2018. Once he made the switch to Ibuki, Fujimoto was unstoppable and his methodical play was revealed all over the world. However, all this pales in comparison to his impossible feat of winning back-to-back Red Bull Kumite Championships. Fujimoto's win in 2018 was impressive, but his 2019 victory was remarkable because it came after his main character, Ibuki, had been nerfed heavily. Unsure whether to continue with the character, Fujimoto prepared for the worst, but as he got closer to Grand Finals, he grew in confidence, eventually taking over Infectious in Grand Finals. There have also been numerous top 8 finishes, and Fujimoto's Ibuki will always be remembered as one of the truly glorious ones to watch. Fujimoto has suffered from character crisis as he moved from one main to another, finally settling on Luke. Regardless, Fujimoto remains one of the most influential names in Street Fighter V, and we hope to see him rise to prominence again in Street Fighter VI. 6. Xian. Xian is a Singaporean player who took the world by storm with his EVO 2013 performance where he beat Taquito in Grand Finals and with Gen no less, a character who wasn't considered top tier in the game. Xian's success was a huge boost to the Singaporean community and many of the top players from that country point to him as the pioneer for their community. Xian has been a gamer since he was young, dabbling in King of Fighters and Street Fighter. His win in 2013 was the start of a period of dominance for him in the game, as he either won or placed really highly on tournaments. While his 2013 win at EVO was remarkable, it had been in the post for a while, as he had announced his prowess at Canada Cup the year before, winning against Mago. Many people might also have forgotten that he won CEO 2013 and Tiger Uppercut that same year. He also took DreamHack Winter in 2015 and was second place at both Capcom Cup in 2013 and 14. Xian has always been a pioneer, and his ability to completely unpack a character and utilize them to their utmost level was one of his biggest strengths. In Street Fighter V, Xian was still incredibly successful, winning Final Round 20 and the LAN Story Cup in 2017 over Taquito in the finals, which he won 5-4. He was also on hand to take second place at Combo Breakers in 2018. While still competing, Xian is also a mentor to many and has done his part in raising the next generation of Street Fighter champions. 5. Momochi. Momochi should have been called the Iceman due to his cool nature while playing. Momochi is one of Japan's most incredible exports in fighting games, and he has turned out to be a pretty savvy businessman as well, as he's one of the owners of Shinobism Gaming, which he also competes under. Momochi was best known for his impeccable Ken play in the days of Street Fighter IV. He took the character to great heights and is one of only a few players that can claim to have won an EVO, Capcom Cup, and EVO Japan. Momochi made a name for himself with solid neutral, where he seeks to outplay his opponent in every possible way. This has led to a level of respect that few other players can claim to have. Momochi is also known to be a keen educator of the next generation, taking the likes of rising star Higuchi and even setting up a gaming dojo of sorts to nurture the next set of Japanese FGC stars. While he's getting on in the years, Momochi is still easily one of the best players in Japan, and in recent times he has used Cody to great effect, terrorizing players in Street Fighter League Japan and also winning the only CPT to hold in Japan for next year's Capcom Cup. Momochi will certainly go down as a legend after all his amazing contributions to the FGC. Number 4. Punk. You cannot have a top 10 list of the most successful players in Street Fighter and not mention Victor "Punk" Woodley. Considered a genius by many, Punk is a versatile fighter whose skill with several characters and in several games have made him one of the most talented players ever seen in the FGC. Considering all of Punk's wins and fame have come in Street Fighter V, and the fact that he doesn't have the storied history as many of the other players in this list make his position even more remarkable. Punk burst into people's reckoning in 2016 at the Red Bull Battlegrounds. Then he went on to have an absolute stormer in 2017, winning 10 major tournaments with second place finishes at Defend the North, CEO, Summer Jam, and most heartbreakingly, EVO 2017, where he seemed destined to win it all before losing to Taquito in Grand Finals. In 2019, it seemed again that Punk was gonna be unbeatable as he won several tournaments before losing at EVO to eventual winner Problem X, and also falling short in the final of Capcom Cup to IDOM. For this reason, there remains some cloud hanging over Punk at the biggest tournaments for Street Fighter. Regardless, Punk is proven beyond all reasonable doubt that he is one of the best to have ever done it. What's more, at his relatively young age, it is certain that Punk will still break records, and with Street Fighter 6 on the horizon, we can only imagine what he's gonna get up to then. 3. Fudo. In third place is Fudo, a player who must be regarded as one of the most consistent in the world. Fudo's a fierce competitor who announced his arrival in 2011 when he won EVO with his devastating Fei Long. His record in Street Fighter 4 was always impressive, and he won some good tournaments including DreamHack Winner 2014. Making the switch to Street Fighter 5 was not always comfortable for Fudo, but he soon settled on Armika, a character he made infamous with his suffocating pressure and mix-up games. He fell short in a slew of tournaments, finishing second in 2 Topanga Leagues, EVO Japan 2019 and Japan Cup 2017. Fudo did score some great wins though, most recently in a tense final for Topanga No. 4 against Taquito, which he was able to win. Fudo is also a doting father, which like Bonchan might have given him an even bigger reason to succeed in the game. He doesn't look like he's slowing down, so we look forward to what more Fudo can produce in Street Fighter. 2. Daigo. Look, what words could we even use to describe Daigo Umehara? When it comes to legendary status, Daigo is a paragon of the FGC. His fame goes beyond the FGC, and he is known all around the gaming world for his prowess. EVO Moment 37 might have been his defining moment, but it'd be irresponsible not to see what else he has done. Daigo has been on the scene for as long as the FGC has existed, and has been a witness and sometimes engineer of some of the FGC's finest offerings. But Daigo is not simply a one-hit wonder who pulled off an insane comeback in one match. He's the man who has kept winning for over 20 years of playing Street Fighter. Daigo has 4 EVO wins for Street Fighter and a win in Guilty Gear. The man has a manga and a book and is fondly regarded as the people's champion. It is a testament to his prowess that as recently as August 2022, Daigo made top 8 at EVO, eventually losing to IDOM. In his earlier days, Daigo mostly used Shoto characters and typically stuck with Ryu. With Street Fighter V, however, he made a switch to Guile, whom he has used to devastating effect. Daigo's list of achievements would take an entire video on its own, so let's just say that Daigo is indeed a beast. 1. Taquito. So who is the man that can top Daigo's achievements? Taquito. The murder face himself, Hajime Taniguchi is a multiple EVO champion who has won tournaments in several different games. He is the FGC Midas as he has the uncanny ability of being good at just about everything. Taquito's longevity is also one of the reasons he is so well respected as he has dominated for as long as he's been active. While other legends of his age are slowing down, including Daigo, Taquito shows no sign of stopping as his list of tournament wins cuts through various eras and there was never a point that Taquito was not awesome. Taquito took the EVO Championship in 2007 for Street Fighter II, was a step away from it in 2013, losing in the finals to Xian, and was on hand to completing an unlikely comeback against Punk to win it again in 2017. Between those big wins, Taquito was a serial tournament winner and did so with different characters. At present, Taquito has at least 14 Tier 1 tournament wins and has been in the top 2 of such high-profile tournaments another 20 times. His winning mentality and ability are beyond anything anyone could imagine. In fact, he is perhaps the only player that Punk has openly admitted is better than him, which is saying a lot. Taquito, like most of the names on this list, looks to be on the charge to continue playing into Street Fighter 6, and while he might be advancing in years, his hunger and drive seem not to have suffered a jot. That's the list. What other players do you think could have cracked the top 10? Let us know in the comments down below. Till next time, keep supporting fighting games.